The men's bracket is set. It's time to find out who will play for a national championship in the women's side. It's the NCCAA National Championship from Winona Lake, Indiana, and I'm Daniel Gilman, your guide for our two semifinal games. The first between two-seeded Brewton-Parker, the Lady Barons, the comeback Barons, against the three-seed Roberts Wesleyan. Wesleyan in the black, Brewton-Parker in the white. Let's get going as Brewton-Parker wins the tip, the designated road team in this game. They lost the coin flip, which means Robert Wesleyan will be on the right side of your scoreboard down at the bottom of the screen. It's 4 10-minute quarters. Double bonus at 5 fouls. Media timeout under 5 of each quarter. And of course a 10-minute halftime. Right off the bat, we see how eager Roberts Wesleyan is to play tight defense, but more so how Brewton-Parker can throw it from anywhere, as the three ball no good from the near side and then tipped out of bounds by the tall, lengthy superstar Joy Hadley. Joy, player of the year defensively twice now in the conference of the Southern States Athletic Conference. And on the far side, we see a second three. This is Naderica Rainey. Plenty of puns to be made about Naderica Rainey if she keeps continuing to dump them from outside. As Rainey comes through, she had 7 points, one from behind the arc yesterday in the come-from-behind win against Judson. You heard the starting lineup, so we'll give it to you again, maybe with some better pronunciation. As the drive from the left, Taylor Bino, the senior guard, comes in and goes to the line. She's joined by the junior from Egypt, Sasso Nady, the all-teamer in the conference, and All-American from a season ago, the junior number 11, Emily Miller. Taryn Wilson is a freshman, number 13 from New York. And we've got a freshman from Greece, the lengthy 6'3" Dimitra Gizani, who will match up with the 6'4" Joy Hadley. First free throw no good for Taylor Bino, along with Hadley in the white. Dominique Haynes, the junior forward, number 2. Latoya King, a first-teamer in the conference, number 3. Naderica Rainey, who hit the 3, number 5. And Naomi Wilds, the redshirt senior guard from Augusta, Georgia, number 22. 1 for 2 from the line. Has us at 3-1 as a score. Roberts Wesleyan had little trouble getting by Hawassi yesterday, 76-54. They trailed for about 50 seconds and led the rest of the game. Now the Lady Barons get back on the ball here as Brewton-Parker comes through with another mid-range jumper in the orange trimmings, white jerseys. We see running through the middle Naomi Wilds in the defensive middle. Her counterpart, number 22, Taylor Bino, picks up the layup. Latoya King now 1 for 2 from behind the arc. And these two teams high-flying, high-paced. It's 8-3 early as BPC leads Robert Wesleyan in a turnover right in front of me. Throwing in now for the Lady Barons is Naomi Wilds. Bringing it up, we see Latoya King and Dominique Haynes, the two ball handlers, as Naomi Wilds roams around. Joy Hadley looms into the paint, defended by Dimitri Gizani. Deep three from the far corner. Wow, everything is raining right now. Naomi Wilds adds the 3. BPC leads 11-3. They were not this hot yesterday. I promise you, they trailed by 18 at half and came back from down 19 in this one, leaving a wide open Taryn Wilson in the corner. She drains the 3. Leave your defense shoes at home. We're out here running. 11-6 the score. 80% from the field already, Brewton-Parker. That was the first basket taken by Roberts Wesleyan. Batted right back to Wild. She throws one up. Defended well and guarded, rebounded by Gizani. Now we'll see Nady run inside with the right hand. Miller can't contribute. Emily Miller, 29 points yesterday in the come-from-behind win. Or excuse me, in the not the come-from-behind win. Roberts Wesleyan was leading the entire time. But 29 points nonetheless for Emily Miller, as the first turnover of this game gives the ball right back to Roberts Wesleyan. Iana Sims checks in, number 30, a 6'1" junior from Mississippi for Brewton-Parker. Taryn Wilson takes it down, flinging it towards the hoop, and the Athens native Dimitra Gazani can't sky up to grab it. Back-to-back turnovers now. Each team with 2 on the game, 11-6. Maybe they'll give us a chance to breathe. 3.5 minutes in. It's LaToya King, first team all-conference, averaging 11 a game. To the middle, this is Sims. Sims gives Hadley a break. King tries to find an opening. It's to the corner to Rainey. Rainey started the scoring. Inside, big rejection on the attempt by Haynes. Flushes out, basket missed by Rainey. Off and running is Taryn Wilson. Wilson gets stripped, but it goes out of bounds off of King. Not much of a celebration there. King down to business, nothing but. There's the 3 ball, finally. Oh, excuse me, just a long 2, but Emily Miller gets going. There's Miller's first bucket of the game. It's 11-8. 5:45 to go in the first quarter. Winner to the national championship Saturday at 5 p.m. Loser to the third place game. Deep 3. Naomi Wilds adds on to a scorching start by the Brewton-Parker College Lady Barons. Wilds is 2 for 2 from behind the arc. Rainey 1 for 1. King 1 for 2. The 3 of them have combined for 4 threes. Now Nady tries to shoot one. And the Egyptian can't fall. 14-8 with 5:15 left in the first quarter. King, a jump stop to the corner. Haynes tries to throw one up. And it gets knocked out of bounds. Who will go to the line? It's Iana Sims. Sims, a 61% free throw shooter, was perfect yesterday, 3 for 3 from the charity stripe. Trying to extend this lead for BPC. So much went wrong for Brewton-Parker for the majority of yesterday's game. But finally, with about 5 minutes left, it's like they turned a switch. As Sims goes 1 for 2, they cut it within 2 with 3:45 to go. Tied it at 66. Tied it at 72 after another lead by Emmeline Wright and her 41 points for Judson, as we have an over-the-back called against Gazani. And then some massively clutch performances. The big block by Joy Hadley with 25 seconds to go. Hadley hit the game-tying layup as well. The go-ahead free throws by Dominique Haynes. And then the game-winning block by Naomi Wilds to cap the victory against Judson. Here we've got some ugly basketball the last minute or so, but a nice dish into Miller, and she gets the and one. A chance for 3 the hard way. Miller on the season averaging 18.5 a game, 9th in the nation in scoring, 9th in rebounds, 9.5, and an 81% free throw shooter as well. Back-to-back years she's led the team in scoring and rebounds, and she's got a pretty decent history here. She scored 65 points in the 2017 NCCAAs. Now they missed the postseason last year, won it all in 2016, so we've got a matchup here of Robert Wesleyan, the champs from 3 years ago, and Brewton-Parker making their first ever trip to the NCCA tournament. 15-11 the score. And we have another substitution coming off the bench. Is Morgan Patton for RWU. And we'll wait for the official signal. It's Jada Ivey, the transfer junior guard for Brewton-Parker. Nady gets it across the timeline, finds a wide open Bino. She banks it off the glass. And Roberts Wesleyan didn't come here to lose. It's 15-13. Directing traffic, Naderica Rainey, the sophomore from Lakeland, Florida. Wilds, the leading scorer with a pair of threes. Heat check. She's hot. I checked. 18-13. As Wilds now 3 for 3 from behind the arc. Yesterday, she was 1 for 4 from deep. Inside, here's Patton off the bench. No good. Rebounded. Brought in. That's Ivy who just got into this game. Finds an open Rainey. Brewton-Parker likes to run. 70 points per game. They've got depth and they've got pressure that they bring to the court. And Sims adds some more of it. 5 points yesterday for Sims. A quick 3 now. Near side corner, no good. Rebounded quickly, and they're running. Look at that. Haynes picks it up and flies coast to coast for the bucket. Haynes had 22 points yesterday, upped her season average to about 10.5 per game, and before a travel by Nady, timeout called by first-year head coach Kevin Clifford. Roberts Wesleyan in a position they have not been in a while. 22-13 the score with 2:32 left in the first quarter. We'll take a break. I'll introduce you to our referee crew when we get back on the nccaa.org. They break the full court press, them being Roberts Wesleyan. Spin move coming, and it's a travel for Taylor Bino. Bino was actually here when Roberts Wesleyan won the national championship. She started that championship game when they beat Colorado Christian as the 2 seed, 70-58. Bino scored 6 points, had 8 rebounds in 30 minutes in that game. She's trying to get back to the ultimate pinnacle of NCCAA success. Interception. That's the 5'10 junior Sasso Nady. 9-point game. Let's see what they call here. And it's a poor pass by Bino. Joy Hadley's ready to check back in, giving Iana Sims a much-deserved break. Sims was fantastic off the bench in the last few minutes. Haynes also sits down for a little bit. Under 2 minutes to go in the first quarter, and it's been a rampant start for Brewton-Parker. 3 for 3 from 3 for Wilds. King and Rainey have also added buckets from long range. Seeing the first playing time today for Roberts Wesleyan is the junior from Australia, Jessie Cook. Inside, this is Hadley, hard to stop her. 24-13. Eden Duckworth, number 10 for Brewton-Parker, checks in. Mississippi native, and we've got another turnover and another bucket off the turnover, 26-13. If you turn the other way, you're gonna miss the Lady Barons because they are not stopping for anyone. Led by third-year head coach Steve Edwards, named co-coach of the year this year in the Southern States Athletic Conference. He also serves as the campus pastor. Came over from Tennessee Temple to be an assistant coach at Brewton-Parker, and he's worked his way up to the head man for a team making their first trip to the national tournament, their first season with more than 10 wins in 6 years. On the other side, we have Kevin Clifford, head coach at Buffalo State, Mount St. Vincent, in his first season trying to bring the Lady Redhawks back to the success that they know and love. They made their 7th tournament in the last 9 years, did Robert Wesleyan. Missed it last season with a 20-10 record nonetheless. Here in the near side, this is Jessie Cook, the junior, averaging 2 points a game. Looking for Miller, they find her. All-American, dribbled and didn't dribble enough as she looks to the referee. and says, what do you mean you made that call? Now I can introduce the referees for you. They like to be known as Larry Moe and Curly, but we know them as Troy Rainey, Tim Cartwright, and Mark Gines, our three-man crew, as the timeout called by Steve Edwards will take us to another break. 43 seconds to go, a chance to go 2 for 1 for Brewton-Parker as everything has come up. Lady Barons for the Mount Vernon, Georgia girls up against the Rochester, New York with Lady Redhawks. We'll be right back on the NCCAA.org. We'll see what Steve Edwards called up, the orchestrator of the big comeback yesterday, as we have Daylon Young in the game, the sophomore number 4, goes down low. This is Hadley. She reverses her direction and scores off the left glass. Hadley making it look easy, 28-13, 20 seconds to go. The shot clock is off, though. This is Jessie Cook. Up to the top, and Nady will bark out directions. Goes with the left hand, strong with the left, out to the corner, Morgan Patton. Pushing foul called, but nowhere near the bonus. 7 seconds left, a good foul to give. They actually have no more fouls to give. That's the team's 4th. Deep three. Strong for Miller, 4 seconds. Let's see if Wilds can go 4 for 4 with a miracle shot. She runs the length of the court, but can't get it up enough. 28-13, a fantastic start for a team averaging 70 a game. They're on pace for about 100, a little bit more than that. We'll take a break, come right back for the second quarter of action. 9 points for Wild, 6 for Hadley, the two of them leading the way on a 13-0 run that has seen Roberts Wesleyan 4 minutes without making a bucket. This is the national championship on NCCAA. Well, the one downside to that last second heave is Wild is no longer perfect from the field. She was 3 for 3, all threes, but had to temper her score line there. We're in the second quarter now. And a quick look from the inside. Gazani can't get it to fall, but it does bounce out of bounds off the Lady Barons. Brewton-Parker in the white. Roberts Wesleyan in the black. Some red trimmings and white jersey numbers. Nady inside, Gazani again batted out of bounds by Hadley, pardon me. The junior from Jacksonville, one of 2 players from Florida, and a 2-time all-conference member, 2-time defensive player of the year in the conference. Nice spin move there by Taylor Bino. She says, hey, I'm a senior and I can play well too. 28-15. That ends the 13-0 run. Pass goes inside to Hadley. Mid-range jumper, in and out. Picked up by Bino. Can Roberts Wesleyan put together a little run here? Pass comes inside, strong move by Gazani, and it just misses off to the wide. Dimitra Gazani, the freshman center from Greece, making her 27th start of the season in game number 31. She had 9 points yesterday, 4 for 9 from the field, averaging 8 a game. Plays some strong minutes at that center position. Yesterday played 33 of 40. But can't get that first free throw to fall. She's 70% from the line. Iana Sims comes in. Sims had 3 points in just 5 minutes of play in the first quarter. Gives Hadley a break. Hadley plays strong, plays all out, but cannot play full games. Yesterday, Hadley was out there for 29 minutes. Needed to be in a come-from-behind effort. 0 for 2 trip, though. Not what you want if you're Gazani or Roberts Wesleyan. And here we have a foul down low. Goes against the Lady Barons, an offensive foul, which is the second of the quarter on Brewton-Parker. 9 minutes to go in the first half. 28-15 here, spotting the national championship on the line, and another turnover. Wilds on the near side. She got fouled. Shot didn't go all the way up, and it was because someone hit her on the way. Wilds from the line this season only 55%. Yesterday was 1 of 2 as free throw shooting. Hard to come by today. 2 for 5 Roberts Wesleyan. There's the first of 2, and the second one falls. It's 29-15. Gazani over to Nady. Inside. Gazani loses it, picked up by Wilds, and then tackled. Whoa! She held on long enough for it to constitute a wrap-up in spring football practice. And that's going to be the 3rd personal foul for Gazani, which will lead her to walk to the bench and bring in Morgan Patton. Only playing with 8 players, and Kevin Clifford said, hey, 8's all we need. But with some foul trouble, that could provide some problems because the other 2 on the bench don't have a lot of size in 5'8" and 5'5". Now going strong to the hoop is Iana Sims. And she gets called for an offensive charge. So now 3 fouls this quarter, 2 of them offensive against Brewton-Parker. Good job for the second time to draw it, but nearly for the second time a steal. Oh, an injury here. Naomi Wilds is hurt. Oh no, a right shoulder injury as she reached forward and probably hyperextended something the way she's holding it. This is not looking good. Oh, gotta wish her the best. 10 points already today. Wilds was having a wild start. And she'll come out for Lakota King. Pray for Naomi Wilds as that pass goes errant and a quick turnover. Already the 10th turnover of the game, doubling the total that Brewton-Parker has committed offensively. Now a foul called down in the corner. It's a hold on Patton, who just came in for Gazani. So the number 1 rule when you're coming in for someone with foul trouble is don't pick up the first foul, and that's what Patton does as Jessie Cook comes in, giving Nady a break. Down over there on the bench as well, yet to come in, is Mariah Hand. She had 2 points yesterday in the win for Roberts Wesleyan. Air ball here for Daylon Young. Bring in Cook from Brisbane, Australia. Gets into trouble. The outlet is Miller. Miller steps into one. Maybe took an extra step. Won't matter. Refs didn't see it. It's 29-17. And if someone's going to lead this Herculean comeback, it's got to be Emily Miller. Anything resembling the name Emily has to give Brewton-Parker's head coach Steve Edwards nightmares, because yesterday, Emmeline, just Emily with an N, Emmeline Wright had 41 points for Judson, more than half of the team's total, and they blew an 18-point lead in the third quarter. As Brewton-Parker finished on a miraculous, crazy run, which had them outscoring Judson by 21, pardon me. 38-17 run to end the game for the Lady Barons. And here, Emily Miller comes through with her second consecutive bucket. It's 29-19. Good spin by Sims. Far corner. Bucket. Daylon Young, the sophomore, off the bench, makes it 32-19. The threes are a fallen. 5 for 11, now 6 for 12 for BPC. Down low, Patton, no defender. She takes her time though, still lays in the bucket quite easily. .6:30 to go in the first half. King holds, now it's sent to the other side again. Young, again, this time not strong enough. Taking it up the court, we see Taryn Wilson, who got the start today, only her 10th of the season. Wilson holds in the near side, number 13 up to the top, and here's Taylor Bino, who started every game this season. Has 42 career points, 42 career points here in the national tournament. A miscommunication has Jessie Cook turning it over for the 11th time for the Lady Redhawks. Out of the East Coast Conference, 10-8 in conference play, 15-15 by way of the Midwest region. Without a regional, they were just the lone representative for the Midwest. But 11 turnovers isn't going to get them a spot in the championship like their male counterparts. The Roberts Wesleyan male Redhawks are playing in Saturday against the top-seeded Cedarville Yellow Jackets. They played one heck of a game earlier today. Roberts Wesleyan did in the win over Hannibal LaGrange by 2 after trailing by 13 at halftime. Deep three, airballed, saved, over to Sims. She's being held, it's a jump ball. Good call by Larry and Mo down there. I'll let you know, they wanted to be called Larry, Mo, and Curly. It's really Troy, Tim, and Mark. But quite the sense of humor for these three zebras today. Or I should say tonight, man, been here long enough. There's no sunlight in here, no clocks. But it's about 7:30 according to my watch. And we've got one more game to go. Roberts Wesleyan has not led all game. As the shot clock expired, flung up by King, no good. Now King will hound Nady on the far side. Pass in from Cook, back-to-back turnovers from Jessie Cook, and that forces the assistant coach, Jack Rosati, in his 11th season to calmly put down his clipboard in frustration. Neither team has scored in 1 minute and 30 seconds. BPC, 1 for their last 5. Looking to get back in their scorching hot attacking ways. They're shooting 46% from the field. And a 3-second call offensively on Sims. That'll turn it back over with 4:57 to go and a media timeout. 32-21 the score. The under 5 timeout in the second quarter gives us a second to step away. Go grab a drink, head to the bathroom. We'll be right back on the nccaa.org. Emily Miller's 9 points so far, not good enough as RWC trails 32-21. Here in the semifinals, both teams looking to snap a 2-minute scoreless streak as Naomi Wilds is still out with that shoulder injury for BPC. She leads the team. Actually, no, she's back in, pardon me. Back in. What a trooper. Might have even dislocated her shoulder and they popped it back, not sure. Try to get word for you, but she's got 10 points. Tries to guard here on the drive from the right by Taryn Wilson. No good from Wilson. 32-21. Haven't touched the scoreboard in a couple minutes. Also in, Alexia Galloway had 7 points in the first half yesterday. Strong appearance for the Brewton-Parker reserve, the freshman, as this one comes inside from the left and flushes it home. 34-21. Quickly responding there from Naderica Rainey's 5th point. Right back at it, and now Naomi Wilds has it on the near side. Flushes to the corner. The 3, no good from Trakaria Head, but put back quickly. So Rainey scores, Taryn Wilson scores, and then on the missed shot in the corner, Brewton-Parker College tips it back in, or tips it back, excuse me, to Naderica Head, whose friendly roll flushes her 3. Then don't go anywhere because Taryn Wilson is wet from 3. Oh my goodness, after 2 minutes of no scoring, we've had back-to-back-to-back-to-back buckets. A 2 from Rainey, a 2 from Wilson, then 3s from Head and Wilson. This shot long, finally a miss ends that streak, and then an offensive foul on a loose ball. 3:10 to go, 37-26 the score. And Taylor Bino comes in along with Dominique Haynes. Out goes, I believe Jada Ivy will take a break. Also a substitution coming as Maya Hopkins checks in number 15 for Naderica Rainey. So a lot of substitutions after a back and forth set of minute and a half. And here the pass in the backcourt, a turnover. 13 turnovers now for the girls in black, red, and white. Yes, I know it's black and white and red all over. It's Roberts Wesleyan's jerseys. Okay, I'll leave now. Naomi Wilds with possession. Driving hard, offensive foul. Goes against Haynes, her 2nd of the game. Team's 4th. So now every foul from here until the end of the first half will be a double bonus for Roberts Wesleyan. 37-26 the score with 2:54 to go. Near side corner. Nady tries to find an opening to Miller. It's stolen away by Rainey. Excuse me, that's Haynes. She flushes it up. Thrown up. Maya Hopkins with the finish. A great steal, a better pass, an extremely great finish. And now Haynes reads the pass like a cornerback. And the pick 6 takes it to the house. 41-26 in the blink of an eye. Kevin Clifford needs another timeout. Which team dominated yesterday and which team needed a full-length comeback? I'm not sure, because Brewton-Parker right now looking every bit like the 2 seed they were picked to be. Leading by 15, 2:22 to go on the nccaa.org. Roberts Wesleyan running with it. Daniel Gilman here, bringing you all the NCCAA nighttime action. Hope you enjoyed our consolation bracket games this morning with Dean Jackson. Tomorrow we'll have a full slate of consolation games with Dean and Frank Sprankle, and I'll be back Saturday for our championships, 2 o'clock and 5 o'clock. The men take the court, and someone will be crowned NCCAA Division I champion for the men about 4 o'clock on Saturday, and then around 7 will be one of these two teams that hoist the trophy and the banner and get sized for a ring. 5 o'clock tip. Offensive rebound, and the exclamation! Dominique Haynes has come to play today in the first quarter. Make it 8 points for Dominique Haynes and 3 steals in only 9 minutes of action. It's 43-26. Getting out of hand here in the first. Completes the 3-point play. And there's 1:52 to go in the first half. Kevin Clifford cannot wait to get into this halftime break. Miller posts up, back rim. Rebounded by King. Flush to the right side. Running is Wilds, and she double dribbles. Running is Miller, throws it up. Gathered by Bino. There's a pair of veterans, Miller the junior, Bino the senior. Keeping their composure. Here's the freshman in Taryn Wilson from Hoinoy Falls, New York. And Bino can't corral the pass. Fans getting quite rowdy for Brewton-Parker coming from Mount Vernon, Georgia, and Jesse Cook's gonna check in. Out goes Sasso Nady. Not much pressure for Maya Hopkins, who takes it up the court uncontested. It all started with the early scoring. 4 for their first 5 from 3, and Brewton-Parker College hasn't looked back, as now a trip to the line. Haynes almost got tripped over by the referee, who calls the blocking foul. 1 minute left. We'll have a 10-minute halftime break, and then we'll have 20 minutes that separate these two teams from somebody headed to the championship on Saturday, as Haynes missed the free throw, not too happy with herself. Quick sub, last second sub, as Jada Ivey comes in for Dominique Haynes. Between Haynes and Wilds, 18 points and ferocious defense as well, as Wilds chase down Patton. Patton gets blocked, but they call the foul on Tricara Head. Head, a sophomore, tried to go straight up, but got a little too much body in it. And Patton will go to the line, only 4 for 10 on the season. Make it 5 for 11. There's a nice bucket, a free one, as Nady checks in. Miller finally gets a break. Emily Miller, who played 33 of 40 minutes yesterday, 29 points in the 22-point victory over Hawassi. 1 for 2 from the line, Patton goes. And Wilds picks up the rebound. She suffered what looked like a brutal shoulder injury, but look at her back in there, a chance to play in the championship on the line. Bet your tail Naomi Wilds is gonna fight to get into this game. To the corner, Joy Hadley has sat for a while. She's getting some rest. In for her is Tricara Head. Wilds breaks down the middle. Shot clock is off. 24 seconds left in the first half. This is Bino, who gets it to Nady, left side, wide open. Cook, the Australian from down under, no good. Now Wilds, a chance to wait for the final shot. 8 seconds on the game clock. Wild's got to shoot. 3 seconds, 2 seconds. She throws one up with the left hand. It rattles in. Are you kidding me? Naomi Wilds, 3 for 3 in the first quarter, misses the buzzer beater from half court, and they are dancing their way into the locker room. 48-27, nearly doubling up. The Roberts Wesleyan Lady Redhawks is Naomi Wilds with 13 points. We'll take a break as BPC ends the half on a 13-1 run. You're watching the NCCAA National Championships. We are ready for the second half of action. The first of our 2 semifinal games in the NCCAA Division I Championship. The men's bracket is set. Their championship Saturday at 2 between 1 seed Cedarville and 2 seed Roberts Wesleyan. Here, the 2-seeded Brewton-Parker Lady Barons dominated the first half over 3 seed Roberts Wesleyan. And here in the third quarter, another hot start. Latoya King, who started the first quarter with a 3, starts the third quarter with a 3, and it's 51-29. And then a double dribble called under the net, and the youth of Roberts Wesleyan, the few youth they have really struggled in this game. We've seen the senior Taylor Bino also struggle. The one bright spot has been the 9 points from Emily Miller. Bino does have 7 and 5. Taryn Wilson, though, been a bright spot, the freshman with a pair of 3s for RWU. Inside it goes, and Dominique Haynes continues to continues to stride through and show some extreme vision as she sets up Joy Hadley there on Hadley's 8th point. 53-27, really starting to separate themselves now as Miller will send it over to the freshman Wilson. Wilson gets sent to the line off the right hash with 8:52 to go in the third quarter. First free throw good as the Lady Redhawks get on the board here in the second half. Look at that. 10 points now, leading the team for Taryn Wilson, only averaging about 7 per game, had 4 yesterday, starting her 10th game of the season in game number 29 for her. Deep ball, count it. Latoya King's heat check continues. The first half was all about the 3 ball. They were 5 for 10 in the first quarter, 3 for 8 in the second, 2 for 2 now in the third. It's 56-29. As Wilson drives again from the left and gets knocked out of bounds. Taryn Wilson has a fantastic future here. From Honoy Falls, New York. $56-29 now. Haynes left side, King again this time. Nady goes all the way out to the Kessler court sign. Maybe King will shoot from back there. We saw one earlier in this game, or excuse me, in this day filled with games. We're in game 7 right now. We saw one earlier where someone shot from back there in the dotted line next to court. Where's King gonna go? She flashes a smile. It's Wilds. Nearly banked it, rebounded by Wilson. 16-3 run now, dating back to the second quarter as it's a charge. Charge is called against Wilson. Excuse me, that's Miller. Miller gets called for the charge, her 3rd foul, the All-American from a season ago for Roberts Wesleyan. Gazani comes in, the 6'3" freshman from Greece. She is flirting with 3 fouls, has to be very careful, only played about 6 minutes in that first half of play. Good pass inside. This is Haynes, nearly banked it in, fought for the rebound. It gets poked out to King, her teammate. Brewton-Parker in the whites with the orange trims. Red jerseys, excuse me, black jerseys with red lettering in the front and white numbers as the air ball goes in. That one taken on the far side by Naderica Rainey. Wilson passes off the kneecap of Taylor Bino, and it's going the other way. Stop, pop, doesn't drop, but it's picked up by Wilds on the 3 attempt from King. King flies it again. She started red hot, 2 for 2 in the quarter. Hadley gets the offensive rebound, flings it up to nowhere's land, and it's caught by Miller. Spin move here by Bino, keeps it in the near side, defended by Wilds. And Nady off the back of the rim. Foul going the other way, over the back called against Taryn Wilson. She's picked up a couple fouls here in the second. Still a 19-3 run, but neither team has scored in the last 2 minutes. Again, King. This time it's in. 3 threes this quarter for LaToya King, the senior from Pike, Georgia. Named first team all-conference. She's second on the team with 11 points per game. But the threes, man, the threes are good. 16th in the nation, averaging 3 threes a game. She has hit that mark and some. 4 for 8 now is King, tying Wilds from behind the three-point line. Rainey gets called for her third foul. 20 turnovers compared to 9. I bet you can guess which way that stat leans, as it's a 30-point lead. 30-point lead for Brewton-Parker. Yesterday, it looked like Brewton-Parker's season would come to an end and they'd go into the consolation bracket when they trailed by 18 in the third quarter. Instead, LaToya King is sitting here in the semifinals, leading by 33, almost single-handedly scoring. She's got 4 threes in the third quarter, and it prompts a timeout. LaToya King bombarded by her friends and teammates over on the right bench, 62-29. We'll see if there's any fight in the Robert Wesleyan side, and who these teams' winner will play against, we'll find out in just about an hour from now, when our final game of the day kicks off. Grace, the hosts, expecting a good crowd here tonight as Dan Davis just walked by with a thumbs up as Grace takes on Mid-America. I'll give you an update on the bracket. Down in the bottom half of the women's side, Hiwassee lost to Judson by 2 today, so Judson will advance to play in the 5th place game against, who is it? Yellowstone, who won their first ever NCCAA tournament game earlier today in the win over Bluefield, the blowout win over Bluefield College. Congrats to Yellowstone. And Alyssa Strickland, their senior, who picked up her 1,000th career point, along with Karen Orozco, who might find her way on the all-tournament team, picked up another 30-point game. So Hiwassee faces Bluefield tomorrow at 3 in the 7th place game. The loser of this game will play against the loser of our next game at noon on Saturday in the 3rd place game. So regardless, just getting here earns you a day off Friday. I'll walk you through the men's bracket in a little bit, as Sasso Nady from Cairo, Egypt passes it to the far side, coming in and a foul called. They were wondering who the foul was on. It's called against the Barons. I think Bino thought that she was called or Patton was called for the foul. Clifford had to point and say, no, it's on them, we're good. Out goes Patton, in comes Jesse Cook. They go a little smaller here. Moving with the left, Nady flies one up and it falls. A nice little runner with the offhand. But a violation with the dribbling called against LaToya King, pardon me. Pass in from Sasso. Goes to Jesse Cook. We got a pair of international players with Cook and Nady, Australia and Egypt. Inside to the Greek. And it gets in. Ghazani finally gets on the scoreboard. So from Egypt to Australia to Athens. We'll get a trip around the historical landscape. Here we are, not too far away from Syracuse, Indiana, where they've actually got us staying for the weekend, right on the lake. It's a nice little lake. Lake Wawasee. I did some research there, named after a Native American tribe. Dates way back. This morning, half the lake was frozen, so that was a pretty sight. Wasn't too cold outside, but a little rainy. Have no idea what the weather is now. I guess it's dark out. Yep, 8 o'clock here on the East Coast. .438 to go, 62-33. That'll put him into the bonus there on the 5th foul. So a chance for Roberts Wesleyan to chip away, just start chipping without clock moving, as Miller's first free throw is good. Emily Miller, 81% leads the team in free throws. She's now perfect on the day, 4 for 4. Hadley in the far corner. A jumper, don't see that too often from her, and maybe that's why. She hustles back, and the pass goes Aaron, intended for Taryn Wilson. .21 turnovers now, compared to 11 for Brewton-Parker, and the points off of turnovers is more lopsided, 23-6 in favor of the Lady Barons, who are on their way, 14 minutes away, in fact, barring a meltdown from their first ever championship. This is their first ever tournament appearance, and they making history with the huge comeback, the 18-point deficit yesterday. This is their first 500 season in 10 years. Couldn't get out of the SSAC tournament first round for the second straight year, but they won the South Regional, dominating Piedmont International, who are in this tournament in the men's side. And they found their spot as a 2 seed on their way to the national championship game here in the NCCAA. Bright spot for Roberts Wesleyan. They're actually on a 6-0 run over the last 2 minutes. See if they can expand on that here with Nady. Tight pass inside to Miller. She backs it out. And they call an infraction on the center, the freshman Dimitri Ghazani. Far corner. This one doesn't go in. Offensive rebound, though, Wilds. Over to King. Latoya King, 9 points yesterday. Has 15 today. And they're going to let some clock run out, leading by 27. A dominant effort from start to halftime. Starting the second half again, nonstop. Power, power, power. I mean, they were up by 21 at half. Started the second half scorching hot, and since they've sizzled off a little bit. They started 4 for 5 from 3. They have since missed 4 straight. Talking about the Lady Barons. They've been sitting on 62 now for 3 minutes. Unfortunately for Roberts Wesleyan, they've only scored 6 points in those 3 minutes. So I'm really unable to capitalize and push it within 20. Driving from the right baseline, flown up, no good. Offensive rebound number 12, compared to 2 for RWC. See what Emily Miller has. Drives with the right, banks it in easily. Well done. We'll see what she has in store for her senior season. Willing to bet she'll be back here in Winona Lake as hosting once again right here in the MOCC in 2020. We'll be back for some more college basketball. The only site in all of America with 2 champions crowned in the same site. As Wilson comes in for Nadi. And Alexia Galloway checks in for Rihanna Sims. Another late sub as Morgan Patton gives Emily Miller a beat. Fans piling in, getting ready to watch their Grace College Lady Lancers battle for a spot in their first championship game. Sims travels. So pardon me, it was not Sims who checked out earlier. It was in fact Eden Duckworth, number 10. Wilson takes it up the court. Saved by Cook. Drives with the left. Couldn't quite curl it in. Jessie Cook, instead of taking it with the left, decided to switch her hands and use the right. Here, a nice Euro step utilized by Rainey. Finally snaps the scoreless slump of 4 minutes at 64-37. .115 left in the third quarter, and going to the free throw line is Taryn Wilson. Wilson with 10 points today, 2 for 2 from the line. Emily Miller, by the way, who was taken out a little bit ago, has 4 fouls. Wanted to mention that. The superstar junior 1 away from fouling out. Second free throw up and good. It's now 39 to 62. 64, wow, pardon me there. That's now 4 fouls on Naderica Rainey as Cook's free throw misses. Free throw up and good. (64 to 40) as the 2 seed looking to book their spot, similar to the men's 2 seed did earlier, except that was Roberts Wesleyan. Here, Roberts Wesleyan at risk of dropping into the 3rd place game. The Women's Championship, Saturday, 5 o'clock, right here on the nccaa.org. The championship network for all Division I, NCCAA, and Division II. Division II went on last week, And we had some fun games in the Division II. I was peeking some of it right here on the nccaa.org. The men's game went down to a buzzer beater by Grace Christian to force overtime, and then another one to beat Great Lakes in overtime. And Arlington Baptist University, oh ho hum, another championship. They won their 5th straight D2 women's basketball championship. Here in the D1 side of things, as Mia Hopkins takes the free throw and drops it in, 65-40. Last season, Mid-America Christian took it home over Concordia. Sarai Rodriguez with the MVP, the MOP, I should say. The player of the year, actually, pardon me there. The MOP for Mid-America Christian graduated from their side. That was Chelsea Savage. I'm gonna get a correction for you guys. So the POY, the player of the year, Sarai Rodriguez. We'll see who this year's player of the year is coming up soon. 2 years ago, it was Greenville, the 4 seed, who took down Emmanuel in the women's championship. Roberts Wesleyan, right here, this team trying to make a miraculous 25-point comeback. Won the championship back in 2016. As some free throws coming. First one misses just short, and Taylor Bino expresses her discontent with that one. About 10 minutes after this one finishes, the host, Grace, will try to be the lowest seed in the last 3 years to make it to the national championship as a 5 here at home. They haven't gotten past the first round in their last 6 trips. They made it to the semis with the win yesterday, the blowout win over Bluefield by 36 points. End of the third quarter coming. Offensive rebound. Hopkins nearly puts it back up. Offensive rebound again. It's Sims. There's 7 seconds on the clock. King sees it, takes her time, drives on Wilson, fires, makes it. Wow, at the buzzer. They have now hit buzzer beaters in the last 2 quarters. It's 67-40. That quarter owned by LaToya King. She's got 17, 5 threes. That was her first non-three-pointer. 10 minutes away from a date with destiny and a championship trip for BPC. We'll be right back on the nccaa.org. (67-40), the score here in the final frame of action in the semifinal game 1 of the day. Game 2 of the semifinals coming up next between Grace and Mid-America. Long shot taken by Ivy, gathered in defensively, and Nadi is moving near side. Daylon Young comes in. She hit a deep 3 in the first half. Everyone was hitting threes in the first half for Brewton-Parker. They were 5 of 10 in the first quarter, 3 of 8 in the second, 4 of 11 in the third. So far, 0 for 1 in the fourth. Here's a 3. Young, no good. 67-40 with 9:09 to go in the fourth. 17 points leads the way for King. Emily Miller and Naomi Wilds have 13. There's a three, Nadi, Sasso Nadi with 5. (67-43). Hey, you know, plenty of time. 22 points, 24 points, who knows? But not the way Brewton-Parker's shooting. 43% from the field today. Roberts Wesleyan actually 46%, but it's the turnovers. 18 more points off of turnovers for Brewton-Parker, and then that. Naomi Wilds answers Nadi's three with a three of her own. Moving in, Bino's taking it herself. 70-45. Nearly a turnover, batted out of bounds off of black uniforms. And Nadi comes out for Cook. Ivy also comes in, that's for the Lady Barons. She's got the ball here, number 20. Now holding is King. Latoya King first in the conference. She's a three-point sniper. Top 20 in the country with a 40% range. Today she's 50%, 5 of 10 from three. It goes to the corner. Ivy says, I want to join, but it goes in and out. .7:30 to go in this ball game. Wilson in the near corner, in and out. Wilds goes coast to coast. She is truly wilding out. 72-45, and I promise that's not the last time I'll use that analogy this weekend. Wilds competing with King for the game lead, 18 points. Wilds 17 King. Offensive rebound and then the turnover, Gazani. A matchup of 8 versus 9 in the women's D1 power ratings. Brewton-Parker 8, Roberts Wesleyan 9. That's the reason they are seated like they are. Not that it matters too much here on the court. Technically because Roberts Wesleyan, the designated home team, due to the coin flip. Deep three, King, off to the left. 72-45 the score. Roberts Wesleyan averaging 66 points a game. Brewton-Parker averaging 70. The Lady Barons known for their defense, though. As Gazani finally gets back on this scoreboard. She came into this possession with only 2 points, has 4 now. Emily Miller still nursing those 4 fouls. She's on the far side, number 11 in black, the All-American, the lone All-American in this entire tournament, men and women. How about that? She's at liberty to do pretty much what she wants, but right now, at risk of being dropped out into the consolation bracket and a shot clock violation. No one was paying attention there. As Nadi checks in, out goes Wilson. 5:42 to go, 72-47. Into the middle. Miller directing traffic, goes down to Gazani, and she's fouled. Young's first foul. Deep three, Miller. No, off the iron. Brought in by Ivy. Ivy, a transfer from Pearl River Community College, native of Detroit. Played 10 minutes yesterday without a bucket. She's got 2 points today on 5 shots. 2 steals as well. Exploding to the basket from the near baseline, Iana Sims. 74-47. Nadi hits the referee on the throw. Turnover number 27. And a TV timeout. 4:57 remaining in the semifinal game. We'll be right back. Alexia Galloway checks in for Dalen Young. In comes Patton, out goes Ghazzani. Flying is Ivy, left side Sims. Gets fouled, can't convert. She'll go to the line for two with 4:52 remaining. That is team foul number 1 in this fourth quarter. Pretty clean played quarter through about 5 minutes. Just 2 combined fouls. Each team has scored 7 points on 3 buckets and 1 3 apiece. First free throw good for Iana Sims as they near 80 points. Yesterday, it was a 75-point outing for Brewton-Parker and 76 for Roberts Wesleyan. Second, also good. And Iana Sims having a breakout game, 7 points here after a 5-point outing yesterday. They break the timeline, but get picked off. That's Sims. No, she gets picked off. Possession changes hands. Quick fly to the middle. Spin around jumper. Wilson, no good. Loose ball. Wilds has it. Has flanks. Goes left side to King. She slows it down with 4.5 minutes to go. King, right side. Deep three. There she is. Ivy hits the first 3 of the game. She was 0 for 4 coming into that shot. 79-47. Squeezed into the corner. Nadi gets it out over to Bino. 79-47. Wilson drives, rejected, and they must have gotten the body. Looked like a clean rejection at the top from Sims. 7-0 run for BPC. This has been a game of runs, and Roberts Wesleyan hasn't had any of them. Ivy will come out just for a second, grab a drink, go back in. First free throw, no good from Wilson. In comes Cook, out goes Nadi. Empty trip, but she gets her own rebound. New life here this possession. But the jump ball possession does stay with RWC. Really a fantastic job today by all weekend long by the referees, tempering any type of flare-ups. We did have one moment yesterday where the bench got a tech. Earlier today the coach did, but really nothing besides those 2 moments. Exemplary showings of Christianity here in this NCCAA championship. We'll be right back. Full timeout called, 3:34 to go in this semifinal game, 79-47 BPC. .330 to go. It's been a long evening for the Roberts Wesleyan Lady Redhawks. BPC taking the foot off the pedal here. Nearing the 3-minute mark. Getting ready for the final slate of our Thursday quad box semifinal day. Grace College, the hosts, up against the 1 seed and defending champs, Mid-America Christian. Galloway comes through with the bucket. She had 7 points yesterday, all in the first half here, her first shot of the game. Emily Miller shows some signs of life there with the bucket, 81-49. This is a good show of sportsmanship here to not run up the clock. And then at the last second, timeout is called. 2:20 to go, 11 seconds on the shot clock. We'll be right back on the NCCAA Championship Network. Eight seconds to go in the shot clock here. Welcoming you back in. Daniel Gilman bringing you this NCCAA Division I championship, men and women. We had 2 semifinal games earlier. One came down to the wire. Roberts Wesleyan men beat Hannibal LaGrange, the 2-over-3, 63-61, and then a blowout. Cedarville took care of Bluefield, 72-59. So it's the 1 versus 2 up there. Will be the 1 versus 2 here as Brewton-Parker all but punched their ticket. Mid-America Christian has a chance to repeat. They beat Concordia last year. What will happen here in this semifinal game? It's passed inside. Gazani misses. She's 2 for 6 from the field today. 1:45 to go. 81-49 the score. The MOCC really getting crowded now for the Grace College game coming up in just about 20, maybe 15 minutes. Another steal. Turnover number 30. 30 turnovers. And then the foul called. Going to the free throw line. Oh, not yet. Only the 3rd foul of the quarter. Patton gets issued the foul call on the 30th turnover of the game. It's Steal by Maya Hopkins. And hold on, they're going to have to reset it here. Right in front of the scorer's table as well. Wilson gets called for the foul. Dribbling it out with 1:08 to go. 20 seconds. And this is much preferred to the foul game in a blowout, at least from our perspective. 10 seconds. See if they just take the shot clock violation. That would be extreme. So instead they just throw up a shot, offensive rebound. No good on the putback. Picked off though, stays alive, rolls around. 40 seconds to go, 15 separating the shot and the game clock. Here we go, it's coming down to the final few seconds. Brewton-Parker looking to run away with it, literally and figuratively. And another steal, turnover number 31. A wire-to-wire victory. Did not trail the number 3 seed, Roberts Wesleyan. How about that? From the three-point barrage in the first quarter, in the third quarter, we are 2.4 seconds away. It is an 81-49. Can't say final yet. See if they throw in the heave. 81-49, the final score, as Roberts Wesleyan will move down into the third place game. And number 2, Brewton-Parker, trailing by 18 yesterday. As late as the third quarter, they're going to the national championship game in their first ever appearance in the NCCAA championship. Congratulations to the Lady Barons and their third-year head coach, Steve Edwards. Who will they play? We'll find out in just about 10 minutes. Hope to see you back. I'm Daniel Gilman. Enjoy the rest of your evening. If not, if so, we'll see you in about 10 minutes for Grace against Mid-America Christian right here on the NCCAA Championship Network.